TKO here, and come on in. Come on in. I'm going to be talking with you all today about something that came across my mind as I was moving boxes this morning. Disclaimer, I have not gotten much sleep last night because I am getting ready to go out of town for a month plus of healing and rejuvenation and repair. And so I we're done with the Christmas shipping. I've gotten all of the boxes gathered up to be picked up by the warehouse or where I'm warehousing them. And so that should be happening anytime within the next half hour. But so I've been working with very little sleep, and while I was moving these boxes around and getting everything packed up and labeled together, the thought dawned on me, because we've been talking a lot lately about submission and um submitting in relationships and women submitting to men, etc., as well as the conversation that we got into the day before yesterday about Black people worshiping in these churches with images of a white Jesus looming over them, right? And white people receiving these images too. So these thoughts, and especially with white people, because somebody commented to me this morning, and welcome in everybody. Somebody we're waiting for the text notification hasn't gone out yet. It's always, we've been having some difficulty with that recently because of the laws that were changed. And so give me 1 second. I just need to I want to jump into this conversation, but it was those two conversations combined that that made me come to this theory, right? I know people say, hold on, let me get to my cuz I want to start the video. What is Layla saying? Leslie, you don't law, you have me. Do you know what you lost your mind? You think God was a woman. If God, here, let me get this on. Let me get this off the screen. Let me stop that. It's like I said, it's early, but I want you all to see this comment because it went by text notification squad got their text. I'll read this thing to you. I can't put it on the screen because it's already gotten by. But a Black male by the name of Leslie says, "You don't law, you have me. Do you know what? You lost your mind. You think God was a woman. If God was a woman, he would have me woman first, but he didn't. He made man first, not woman. First man first. So don't get it twisted." I wish you could have seen this comment because it is, you know what? I think I have a way that I can get you to see this comment if I move this screen here. No, because if I put the thing on the screen, it is going to do that right there. It's going to do that. And I have yeah. But the comment is over here. For those of you who want to see, if you think I'm joking about how this thing was written, right? If you think I'm joking about there we go. No, no, no. Here it is. You don't law, you have me. Do you know? Let me fix this thing right here. Let me fix but I will just take a look at that while I fix the title of the video. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me one. Just read that while I fix the title. God is a woman. Jesus was effeminate. Let me do was most likely effeminate. All right, perfect. All right, so read. I just want you to see. You don't law. You have me. Do you know what you lost your mind? If if lost your mind, if you think God was a woman, if God was a woman, he would have me woman first, but didn't he made one, he made man first, not woman first. Man, don't get it twist. Oh, see, this is how it be for me behind the screen, but it went by too quickly. It went by. Like, people are getting upset. People are getting upset. In the same way that white people get upset when you say that Jesus was black, right? Because to them, they have positioned it in their minds that God is a white man. This is what they've done. They've contorted the Bible, right, in such a way to make it seem as if man came first, when there is no male besides the seahorse, who is the second portion of the gestational period for the seahorse, right? And that male only holds it inside of its flap until it is time to be done. But the female of every species, in fact, the only way that you know which portion of the species is female is the one that has the larger, fewer sex cells. The female of the species is the one that has the greater investment in reproduction. The male of the species has the less involved part, the less effort taking part of continuing the species. And you will see, right? People will get upset. So let's go back to the conversation. First of all, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I'm up early. I've been up most of the night. And as I was lifting these boxes, thinking about submission and thinking about Black people worshiping in these churches with a white Jesus, and the conversation that I got into on my channel with somebody late last night, where she was like, Jesus was from the Middle East. He was most likely not a white person, etc., etc. And I said, listen again to the video. I didn't say that Jesus was white. What I said was that Black people are worshiping in churches with an image of a white Jesus looming over them. How did this image of the white Jesus get up there? And who benefits from the idea that Jesus is white? And what are first of all, let me just say this, because I feel like I need to just say this. It's actually worse. It's actually worse if you're worshiping in a religion in which people have contorted and taken the Bible, Jesus, what came out of Africa or the Middle East, repurposed it, and then sold it back to you with their image on it. That's actually worse. So you sitting up here bragging that Jesus is may be a person of color, etc. But it's worse that you are now worshiping in an adulterated religion that has been translated, altered, reworded, books taken out, lost, damaged, destroyed, changed from its original language, changed from that language into other languages, and then told back to you in the ways that the persons who translated it want you to hear it, so much so that we have people with a religion who had a person of color at the head of the religion, who then has been fed back to you as the image of your oppressor. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. That's actually worse. It's worse. Because we got black people falling out in all of these churches, fanning themselves and gyrating and writhing and wriggling down on the floor beneath the statue of a white male looming down over them. I'm sorry, no. So let's go into my point and how I got to where it is with this theory that I have right now, that God is a woman and Jesus was most likely effeminate, right? I was thinking about submission and the cost of submission for women and the conversation that we were having with Latinas the other day. And I want you to take a few moments to invest the time into watching that series that we did with the Latina women. I feel that this is so important that I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you to see it. So we're going to go to youtube.com, right? And we're going to go to / Tanya TKO. That is Tanya spelled with an O, right? This, oh my goodness, I forgot to make this thing back small again. Oh, damn it. All right, here. Let's get this small again so that you can see it on. So this right here is my channel, right? These are the videos. If you go to videos, right, this is an important set of videos that you need to watch, right? This video right here, you see it with the guy and the thumbnail, Spanish women raised to be wives. And it has two other parts right here, right? So this video right here, where he's talking about Spanish women are raised to be wives, I just want you to see what the thumbnail looks like. This is the, damn it. This is the thumbnail right here, as you see, right? This is the thumbnail. Spanish women raised to be wives. I just want you to go take a look at that video and the two videos that came after it. It's important to watch because we were talking about submission and women submitting, Latina women, Hispanic women submitting to men, and at what cost does that come with, and the expectation that women have of finding this benevolent being who is man, who is altruistic enough, gentle enough, loving and supportive enough to be able to let you rest in your feminine and cover the bills, protect you, guide and lead you, and that you are able to do the things that you need to do to replenish yourself and be your best self in this relationship. Behind the scenes, we had a broadcast yesterday, so shout out to the text notification squad and all the people who met up with me behind the scenes yesterday, because we were talking about children and the ungrateful nature of children, and how as mothers you give so much only for it to be disrespected, unappreciated, taken for granted, and then and disrespected. And then when all is said and done, then when they become parents, if they become parents, and they see the task that was set before you, then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, wow, mom, you were right. Oh, look, now I'm a mother. Oh, I see what I realize what I must have put you through with this, that, and the other, right? Because they grow up, they learn, and all this, that, and the other, right? But the general nature of relationships nowadays, the general structure of relationships consists of women giving and giving and giving, depleting themselves, burning themselves out, bleeding themselves dry for a group of people who don't give an F about you and what you're going through. The kids don't care. The patriarch doesn't really give a damn either, right? I'm just the nature of general relationships. Are they either on either side? Yes, it's on it. Yes, there's some really great, and there's some really even worse. Yes. But I'm talking about general. Generally, this is the structure. A woman who is literally giving of her life force to her family day in and day out, with not even a barely a thank you, a few noodles glued on a construction paper once a year. Okay. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like that. Okay, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like that. Okay. Okay. That was inappropriate. The noodles on the construction paper are beautiful, and I know you love them. We all love them. We love that the school prompted appreciation that the children come together with to make those, to glue those noodles on construction paper once a year, right? But I'm going to say, by and large, that's what the structure of relationships are. And there are so many women out there who are searching, and looking for a man who is going to be gentle enough, caring enough, uplifting enough, altruistic enough to pay all of the bills, to support you, to take care of your emotional needs, to talk with you, uplift with you, build with you, and let you rest in your feminine while being the masculine provider and protector, and you be allowed to just sit back and receive adoration, and you end up feeling burnt out and tired because the dream of what it is and what it actually turns out to be is very different. And my mind was just rotating round and round as I was quietly gathering all of these boxes together. Barry feels that I'm one of the most negative woman on social media, yet he's still here because he knows that there's a truth to what it is that I'm saying. And the seed is planted, and he is in his hard ossified ground, his calcified ground, trying to buck against the seed which is planted in infertile soil. But the seed is planted nonetheless. And maybe there will be a person who comes along and shits on you big enough, deep enough, and warm enough for that seed to then get the nourishment that it needs to be able to grow out into the world so that you too could humble yourself and hear what it is that I'm saying. And the fact that there are so many women on here saying that what it is that I'm saying is true, and you prove my point. You prove my point with the general lack of awareness, lack of hearing, lack of self-evaluation, selfishness, overbearingness that comes up in the form of far too many men. You prove my point that you will sit here in front of a woman who obviously knows what she's talking about, but you will try to posit as if it's negative because you and your ball swinging self with your sack clacking together over there in front of your keyboard can't take and understand that what it is that I'm saying is true. So nonetheless, I thought to myself, what comes with the price and the cost of women submitting? And from what it is that we heard, what it is that we know, and what it is that we have witnessed, there are far too many men who take that submission and they receive it as a form of your being beneath them, so that you submit to them because you are weaker and because you are lesser than, not because you're more precious, not because you deserve more protection, but because you are weaker and lesser than. There are far too many men, and you know I'm not saying all, and I hate the fact that I even have to state that for the people who are going to be intellectually lazy and disingenuous and be like, not all, let me just cut you off at the pass. There are far too many men who take that submission and return it with abuse in one form or another, whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, intimate abuse. There's so many different types of abuse that are enacted upon women who are submitting and who submit and who are submissive. As a matter of fact, it is that submission and that submissiveness that attracts the abusers. They see a person like this N-word, this nigga, I'm gonna say it, this nigga Barry or whatever the hell his name was that commented about how I'm so negative and this, that, and the other, because you see me and you know that you cannot enact your will upon me easily. I will not submit to a bum like you. And it troubles you, it bothers you, and it grates against your system. Because men like that are looking for a different thing. They're looking for smooth sailing. They're looking for something easy. They're looking for no opposition. They're looking for you to bend to their will, regardless of what their will is. They want you to bend to it. All of the women whom we have seen on social media, I will say, now I won't say all because all is invalidated, but the vast majority of women who we have seen being abused on social media are all women who were gentle, who were kind, who submitted and allowed that man to abuse them. The girl who got called average at best and called a broad and bitch on air by Kitten Heels. She was so gentle and so meek and so passive, and that created an opportunity for him to then disrespect her and clobber her with his I can't even think of it, his misogynistic effeminateness. I just look. Let's continue forward. When we look at Sin Santana and name any woman whom you have seen being abused on social media, and it just, you know what? I'm going to take some of the names. Name some of the women whom you've seen being abused on social media. Please name it. Name them. Sin Santana is one of them. April Jones is another one. Name some other ones that we've seen being abused on social media. Come. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. Desmond is saying God is a man. We're about to get to that. Let's continue going forward. Let's name some of the women that we've seen. Yellowbone. Okay. Who else? Yellowbone. Come on, give us some more names of women that we have seen. Irene Yvette. I don't know who that is. Derek Jackson's wife, Little Brandy. Okay. Kim Kardashian. I don't know who Mimi Faust is. Okay. All right. Ari Lennox. I don't know who that is. Whitney Houston. Oh, wow. Nia Riley, K. Michelle, Nikki. Oh, my goodness. All right. Cardio B. Okay. Melody Holt. Some of these people, I don't know who they are. We're seeing some. Okay, perfect. Thank you. They put Danny Lee, who is Yellowbone. All right. Okay. Perfect. So you see what I'm saying? What did 99% of those women have in common? 99% of those women were meek, quiet, submissive. Oh, let us not forget Jim Jones' forever girlfriend of 20 years. That in and of itself, the emotional abuse that exists in that. These are all women who submitted to the authority of undeserving men, who used that authority to then abuse them. So we're getting ready to get to the whole God is a woman part, right? So I thought to myself, we have this twisted perception of the nature of man, the nature of the masculine, the nature of men. We have this twisted perception where in our hearts we are yearning for this altruism, this gentleness. But what it is that we get is we get fart jokes, bathroom humor, talks about shit and shitting and feces and fecal matter and flatulence and burping and underarm sweat and dry feet and gnarled nails. And we get those types of we get that. We get the bullying, we get the domineering, we get the financial control. Oh, I bought this my house, this that. We get that. We get abandonment and then blame you for their choices. And there's so many women who have fallen into this one, right? Sexual irresponsibility, sexual dominance, we violence. We get a lot of these things in far too many men, that this has become the consensus of what men are generally. There's some worse and some better, yes. But in the middle, what we're getting is a lot of those things, lower vibrational things, all clumped up in the middle, right? Are there some really amazing men out there? Yes. And some of you are married to them. Some of you are them. And some of you who are them are single out there and becoming embittered, right? Nonetheless, right? What is it that has women holding on to this idea of the ideal male being this gentle male, being this altruistic male who is giving of himself with expecting nothing in return, that is not entering into transactional relationships, etc., right? And I personally think that it is the umbrella under which we live, with this idea of God being male, and that being the ideal of what the average man should or could be like. We also have Jesus posited as being male, posited as being white male. When we look at what it is that we know come from certain people and the behaviors that they exist across, that they exhibit across the board, that the behavior is very different to that of what is positioned as the way Jesus behaved. Now I want you to imagine with me, as you will, if you were to imagine what Jesus was like, if a human being like Jesus ever really existed, because it is said to scholars, it's said to scholars who go to theological school, that a person that fit the description of Jesus never walked the earth. But if there were a person like Jesus, I want you to imagine what his mannerisms would have been like, how he would have walked, how he would have talked, how he would have moved and positioned his hands, his body movements, how he would have sat, how he would have spoken to people. I want you to just pause it with me, right? And I want you to see. I want you to just I want you to tell me, how do you think he would have behaved, right? Come on, I want to hear. Let's see. There was many Jesus in many different decades. Let's get to how his mannerisms were. We're only pontificating about this character. Listen, Alexander, you need to go speak to some people who went to theological school. I'm not saying Jesus was gay at all. I'm not saying Jesus was gay. And God is a spirit, yes, but is that spirit a masculine spirit or a feminine one? And we're going to dive into that. So come on. Let's go on. Gentle, deliberate. Okay. In essence, there's history on that as well. Gently, loving, graceful, peace, calmness. compassionate, more feminine. I think he would have behaved masculine and grand. This is according to Darius Baby Back Ribs. Okay. All right. Understanding and love. Let's go for another minute 20 seconds. I think Jesus would be like the average male in his appearance, but I don't think he was a nice guy at all. Interesting. Okay. Masculine and feminine, peaceful, understanding, kind and soft, gentle but firm. Okay. Motherly nature. Effeminate is not gay. Effeminate is not gay. Patient, nurturing, safe, emotionally available. Yes, gentle, masculine. He was a feminine spirit. Kind, firm, gracious. All right, come on. We have 40 more seconds. Feminine and masculine energy balance. There's this calmness and feminine energy. Stephen, please prove who was created first. Tanya, can you please say gentle and loving again, please, babe? Please don't get blocked on my channel trying to objectify me. Don't get blocked. Men wore wigs back then, so I don't know. Willing to learn at 12. Come on, 8 more seconds. Effeminate is not gay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Openness, warm and wise. Okay. When we think of the words that describe Jesus, that we have used to describe Jesus, are those words more likely or less likely to be attributed to the masculine or the feminine? If you think about what his body movements would have been like, do you think Jesus would have been like, that? Do you think Jesus would have moved like Jason Momoa with the long hair, big old muscles? You think Jesus would have come into a room dominating? Competition, I'm better, aggression. You think that's the way Jesus would have come into a room? Or do you think Jesus would have spoken softly? Hands flow and move gently. Look people in their eyes and offer compassionate understanding and general care and empathy. Do you think he would have sat with his legs cracked wide open? Or do you think he would have sat with his legs closed, perhaps even crossed at the knee? Do you think he would have sat taking up space from other people or allowing other people to enter into his space? I want us to think, because we have this ideal that many of us are contorted into believing in this fantasy. And we are behaving in a way that is natural to us, but very different to how a male being like Jesus would have presented. That we know the general nature of man. And we know that the general nature of man is even very anti-feminine women. So much so that I say Jesus was most likely effeminate, and people confuse the word effeminate with gay, which it is not, because every gay man is not effeminate and every effeminate man is not gay. Effeminateness is just an air of gentleness and more leaning towards the feminine side. But the feminine side, and the thing is that we so hate women that it grates against us to imagine that the most supreme being could be a woman. It gyrates against us that the King of Kings that many people worship, that if you say that he had the mannerisms most attributed to those of women or feminine mannerisms, that people buck against it. They don't want to hear it. They want you to shut up. They want you to be quiet. They don't want to hear what you got to say. So people are talking about sugar in the tank and derogatory terms that they would use to describe Jesus. But do you think Jesus would have used terms like that to describe people? Do you think Jesus would be cracking jokes at folks? Do you think Jesus would be mocking people in the ways that that you're mocking Jesus right now, or the idea of Jesus being effeminate? Do you think? I want you all to answer. And so this is where I came up with the theory, right? This is where I came up with the theory. The ideas that we think of as God, giving, nurturing, selfless, these are not the ideas that are typically attributed to the masculine, typically attributed to men and the average man. Um, yeah, hold on. That's the person, the truck coming to pick up my stuff. Let me see what he said. Okay, they said 9:45 now. Let me let me um I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I just had to let them know that my boxes are ready. My boxes are ready. This is them all piled up and ready to be taken out. So he says, great, perfect. I'm happy about that. We are on our way, and we have more time to really delve into this conversation because they were supposed to be here at 9, but he said there's some traffic, so they're running a little bit late. All right. All right. So, right? People are saying God is neither male nor female, right? And you know what? Listen. And look, a woman is a human female, right? Woman is a human female. And so if we think about the energy of God and whether that energy is a masculine energy or a feminine energy, I think that we can all agree that the energy of God is more feminine than masculine in terms of what it is that we know about masculine energy. So I would love for you all, since you all don't believe me, come on, let's go ahead and compile a list of what masculine energy is. What is masculine energy? What is our perception of masculine energy? Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on, let's hear. Let's see. I want you to put masculine energy and then type out what masculine energy is. Because this video is live right now, but people will watch it after the fact, and I want you all to add your point of view. Masculine energy, aggression. Okay, come. Keep going. Aggressive, a lie, Tanya. Masculine takes away, strong, dominant, protective. Okay, I'll open the phone line. Destruction, they're saying masculine energy is destruction. Wow, there's so many people that feel that. Dang. Masculine energy is conditional love, dominating, assertive, abusive. Let's go for another minute on that, a minute, 20 seconds. Dominance, competitive, masculine. Come on, masculine energy. I need you to type it out. Masculine energy is destruction, strong. Masculine energy, dominance, ego, unafraid, tyranny. Masculine kindness, the Son of God, dominance, leadership, non-emotional, strong and confident. Vicious, I saw, subduing, intimidating, narcissistic, protective, gentle, strong. We got 28 more seconds, please. Results focused. Masculine energy is protecting. War, protective, powerful. Masculine energy is ruling over. Not crass. Masculine energy is strong, destructive, loving as well as strong, protector of other men. Logical, girl bye. Wow. You know what? I need a moment to just even gather myself after that. And the general, just negative, low vibrational opinion of what masculine energy is. That hurt my heart to read, honestly. That hurt my heart. That we are a mixed group of men and women, and that what we come together with to describe masculine energy are all of these derogatory terms. And the sad part about it is I can't even be mad at it, because this is the way that men have construed what masculinity looks like. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. I'm sorry. It's really sad. It's not until we start having these conversations that we actually really sit down and think, what does the masculine mean? And then so let's jump to the feminine. Let's jump to the feminine. I want you to put feminine energy and the description of what feminine energy is. Okay? There's a little bit of a delay between when I say something and when you see it. And I'm still so very tired because I've been up all night getting these boxes together. But I want us to now switch over to feminine energy. Okay? I want a few people to type the number 5 so that I know when we have gotten to the end, so that we know that we're doing feminine energy next. So feminine energy, come. We're going to be doing feminine energy now. So let's type in a number 5 so that I know that you have gotten up to this part. So let's continue forward. Now, Little Miss after the fact is like, real masculine energy is beautiful if you know what real masculine energy looks like. All right. Thank you. But people weren't saying that before. So let's go ahead. So feminine energy. All right. So now we've gotten to the 5. So feminine energy can be self-conscious. Let's continue forward. Okay. We've got so feminine energy. Feminine energy, weak, caring, compassionate. Love, wisdom. Feminine energy is competitive. That's not true at all. You don't know feminine energy. That's a lie. Relly Rel says feminine energy is manipulative. Feminine energy is loving, strong. Feminine energy is not manipulative. That is very masculine to be in a manipulative energy, unless of course it's coming. Let's see, forgiving. Feminine energy means strong woman, brave, loving, peaceful, loving, nurturing, empathetic, forgiving, loving. But you know what? I'm going to take that back. Gentle, maternal, light, and love, because there is a contorting, there is a coercive, contorting factor to feminine energy. So yes, I can admit that. Nurturing, feminine energy is healing, strong, loving, creative, balanced, yielding, nurturing. Feminine energy is comforting. Feminine energy is loving. Sympathy. Feminine energy can also be powerful, strong, gentle, kind, soft, gentle, beautiful. Oh, where's our music so we get keep track of time? Jealousy. You know what? Yeah, I can see jealousy in the range of the toxic feminine. Soft power, intuitive, self-conscious. I can see self-conscious in the toxic feminine. Healer energy, love, nurture, jealousy. Feminine energy is warm, feminine, loving and self-aware, empathetic. Yin and yang, loving, gentle, caring. Feminine energy, caring, relaxing. Feminine, magnetic, withdrawn, submissive, nurturing. Culmination of all things, an aura that is not forced. Yin and yang. God can be whatever, in my opinion. I don't believe in it anyway. Okay, so feminine energy is healing. Feminine energy in infinite in traits. Can be catty and judgmental and toxic feminine. Yes, I can see that. Feminine energy is caring, soft, healing, accommodating, creative, creator, creative, healer, lover, loyal, soothing, ferocious, creative. Okay. All right. So thank you. Thank you all for that. Thank you all for that. And so what we have here is an overlapping, right? What we have is the masculine in the middle of masculinity. You have the balanced masculine with toxic masculinity on one end, and then we have high vibrational masculinity on the other end, right? And then with the feminine, we have the feminine in the middle, and we have toxic femininity that overlaps onto the masculine, right? So that there are traits of the toxic feminine that are that overlap onto the masculine. However, on the higher side of the feminine, the high vibrational feminine is out here with all of those things that you described, and everybody that has the feminine is a mixture of all of those in between, and the masculine is a mixture of all of those in between, where the higher part of masculinity can overlap into the feminine and vice versa. So what we have is we have traits that we have come together with to describe as being masculine and feminine. And by our own assessment here today, in which energy do you feel God more vibrates in? The masculine or the feminine? I just need you to type it out. Masculine, God, feminine. Which energy, or feminine energy, masculine energy? I just want you to type that out. And let's see. I'm starting to get really tired. My goodness. So come, let's type this out. I'm just getting real tired now. Come on. So Original says she practices dark feminine energy, hurricane energy. I feel you. All right. So Kay says God's energy is more feminine. JP says God vibrates in both, but I'm talking about which one is more. Listen, let me pause this for a second. I'm not talking about that petty, jealous, bitter, bitchy God that they talk about in the Bible, who was drowning and killing folks because they were jealous and all of that. I'm not talking about that low vibrational, egotistic, low form, negative energy ass God that they talk about in the First Testament of the Bible. I'm talking about true God energy. Not your limited version or your limited vision of what you think God is as based on the Bible, but God of gods, of all religions, the God of Buddha, the God of all religions and beyond religion. Because the God of many of these religions is very masculine and controlling in nature. But when we think of the God of gods, the God who is not God, the God who is not constrained by the word God, the God who is the creator of all and everything, not just our limited versions in these books, not just that. So let's see now, according to that, not let's see, come. And so Rebin says, so you're antichrist. Even the word antichrist is damn foolishness. So unconditional. First prove that Christ even existed before you start talking about antichrist. God is feminine because God mothered nature. God adaptable. Just look at nature. God is feminine. Everybody ain't Christian, y'all. Damn. It's only one. There's no other. Only many spirits. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Because we are all fractions of the ray of the light of God. So transcendent energy, feminine. Well, the God most people, black people, serve is a masculine God. It is impossible. I cannot imagine a God of gods. God feminine, almighty. Feminine. Hebrew spamming. I don't know what that means. God is ubiquitous. She's a sorcerer, talking about Tanya, psychic stuff like Dionne Warwick. Both forgiving and vicious in war. God is universal, creative in us. We're talking about the energy. What is this? The more feminine energy? But listen, there's no need for us to even sit here for the gaslighting. We all know that the energy of what we think of as universal source energy, the most high energy, the oneness, we know that the oneness is not repellent. We know that the oneness is inviting, encompassing, bring in, not go in, but bring in. Accepting inward is feminine. Entering is masculine. If you look at the female or masculine end of a plug, entering is masculine. Accepting in is feminine. So, yes, of course, the Most High must be balanced between yin and yang. However, I would say the leaning of the Most High with the all forgivingness, with the non-judgment, with all of those things, leans more towards the feminine. And for that, I say God is a woman. And I think that for far too many of us, that we have become so accustomed to God being positioned and posited as a man, that it skews our navigating in this world, so that the idea that we have of what men are and how they typically behave is far different than this fantasy that clouds a lot of our judgment and point of view. That we are looking for this altruistic male person, when by and large men just really aren't that altruistic in general. So I know I look tired now, and I'm starting to feel really, 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 really tired. But I'm glad that I was able to get that out before we ended this video. I will open the phone lines later. I'll come back in. I'm not in an emotional state to interact with people on the phone right now. And the video has been about an hour. And there's some people who don't like the phone calls, and some people who only like the phone calls because the phone calls tend to lean on the side of being incredulous and funny and all those other things, right? So what I'm going to do is, and JP already said about toxic femininity. Come on. Oh, my Lord. Okay, so listen, I'm going to get out I'm gonna get out of here. I'm so sleepy at this point. I'm gonna try to catch a nap before the people come to pick up these boxes. Um, what am I trying to say? Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is having critical thought and knowing that some of what you may have been taught from a skewed point of view, may have been taught to fulfill an agenda, that may have been taught as a form of propaganda, and that it is up to you, right? I might as well go off on Islam. The way that people posit the God of Islam is very masculine, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. From the time that I spent in the Middle East, I know that Islam is a very gentle religion. But the way people posit the God of Islam, it's posited with the oppression of women, which is not a part of the Quran. And so the way that it's posited in the Middle East and all of that, the God of Islam is posited as very masculine and and with a lot of toxic traits. So much so that people will happily and gladly go out there and enact violence and kill in the name of Muhammad. And Muhammad talking about virgins and all these virgins going up in the sky and the shame on sex and all this other stuff. That is not, listen, I'm talking about a God that transcends man's version of what God is in man's limited scope. There's a book by Neil Donald Walsh called Conversations with God. And I suggest everybody listen to these 3 audiobooks or go read the books yourself. It's a 3-part series that gets deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm sorry, I'm just mad tired, y'all. It's easier to talk with my eyes closed because opening my eyes, there's so much stimuli that's going on, a lot of moving pieces and all this and the other, right? All right. So I've lost my train of thought because now I'm looking at all these things, right? And somebody says, why are we attacking other people's faith? I hope you're not talking about me. I'm really only speaking about what it is that we see as humans. No religion is any better than any other religions. All religions have flaws. All, all. So nonetheless, it is really about finding your grounded, centered truth. So I told you I'm tired. Like when I on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like at a 9. As soon as this camera goes off, I'm passing out, passing under. Oh, somebody sent me an apple. Let me read the apple real quick. I'm sorry. Here, let me pull. Oh, you know what? I can just pull it up on the screen. I'm not even thinking. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. All right. Tony sends $1 and says Eartha Kitt, Diane Carroll, Wendy Williams, Tina Turner. Yeah. All submitted and all ended up messed up. Like even Wendy can't even get over how she was betrayed by her husband. Now Wendy's done out her mind. Now Wendy is done out her mind. But nonetheless, go read if you have been searching for a true healing question answered profile of God, read or listen to the audiobooks for Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. They are important books that will change your life. I'll put it here. Conversations with God. Neil. Here. Here. Here we go. This is Conversations with God right here. So Go on to Amazon Audio. They have the audio books as well. So go and find those books. Find them. Find them. Find them. And take a look at the books. Oh God, I'm so tired. Oh my goodness. At this point, it feels like self-abuse to stay awake any longer. But I just want you all to get this right here. This is the book right here. Conversations with God is a 3-part book. Go find that, right? And read it. All of the thoughts you had about God not liking gays and God not liking the sin and sinning and hell and our highest iteration as humans and all of that, read. It'll answer so many questions that you've had, and it'll give you a sense of forgiveness on the inside, because the God that many of these books have truncated is a small, petty God, a vengeful, jealous, wrathful God, and that is not the highest form of God at all. Go ahead and leave your comments in the description area. I know that this video is going to ruffle some feathers. I encourage you to share the video and enter into dialogue. Let's not attack one another. Let's hear each other out. The dialogue in the comment sections be so good. So I encourage you to leave your point of view about what it is that we've talked about here today. All right. On that note, I will see you all later. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is having deep thought, pontificating, challenging your own points of view, and diving into discovering what is the highest form of truth that you can know. Don't just stop at, you know, that thing from Lord of the Rings that was holding onto the ring and it was like, my ring, how pretty. It was like, instead of holding on to what it is that you know, holding on to it tight despite all else. Challenge your points of view, challenge your thoughts, challenge your teachings, and see whether or not you can come to the highest version of truth that is available to you. And on that note, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Let's see.